Natasha Dennerstein was born in Melbourne, Australia, to a family originating in Belarus. She worked as a psychiatric nurse for over 20 years. Sorry?
Yeah, Belarus.
Belarus.
Yeah. I was going to say Belarus, I never...
It sounds like a planet, right?
That sounds great. Whisk me away.
Belarus.
Belarus. It sounds like a spaceship.
She worked as a psychiatric nurse for over 20 years. I like how embarrassing that was for me, and then Carolyn came in and was a bigger dork. Even though everyone watches that show, come on. She worked as a psychiatric nurse for over 20 years, which gave her an interesting perspective on the human condition. In 2011, she completed her master's at the IIML at Victoria University, Wellington, New Zealand. She is currently an MFA candidate in poetry at the Creative Writing Department at San Francisco State University, working on a collection of poetry based on the human body. Natasha, everybody.
Thank you. Nate, thank you. Oh, so I'm working on a collection of poetry about the human body, and there's sections or chapters. There's, bones, skin, blood, internal organs, hair, teeth, skin, nails. And so I'm going to read a short poem or two from each section. This one is from the bones section. It's called Choreography of Skeletonism. You want to strip off your skin, suck off your VelRo tabs and fling your epidermis panels into the lap dance audience. You want to divest yourself of muscle, peel that meat away. You have a strong desire to sashay around in your bones, to see them work it in X-ray vision, neon ultramarine in an on-screen regime. You want to digitally film yourself and play it back on YouTube, be humorous, do the splits, spin your head around on your neck and see what it can do. You want to raise your hands in the air, grab that brass ring and do an Olympic rhythmic gymnastic routine, work your shoulders 360 degrees and land with a satisfying thwack for the X-ray cameras. Work it, skeleton baby, work those bones.
Yeah.
Gyrate those hips in a calcium twist and show us what you're made of. Disarticulate those limbs and pile them in a heap. Place your other bones on top and burn a lot. Take the ashes to the mountain top and scatter your dust to the winds. And scatter your dust to the winds. Another one from the bone section. This one's called Gum Boy. A gum is a tree, eucalypt. They're very common in Australia, but you got them in San Francisco too. So in Golden Gate Park, there's a whole. They're on campus. You know what a gum tree is? It's a gum. So it's gum boy. A sperm and ovum collide, congeal into a fleshy clot which doubles, quadruples, till he is born with tiny rubbery bones that grow and grow. His spine straightens, his skull hardens, his ribs expand till he stands at his full height at 17, a fine footballing specimen at 22, bruised, nose crushed, dislocations click back into place. For a brief moment in time, he is perfect. His middle thickens, his muscles bunch, he is plagued by twinges. His hand shakes, his hip clicks, he limps. His spine curves, his bones are friable. He shrinks down to a simulacrum of his football self. His bag of bones, his torn and regrown muscles slacken. His skin puckers. He lies on his bed till his synapses explode. His heart wears down like the engine of a second-hand car. They put him in the ground to decompose and nourish the roots of a mighty tree. Now, a couple from the blood section, O positive, or O positive, 1993. You trance all weekend on E and meth, meet red glitterhorns guy, cloven hoof and tail. Tail him home and fuck for hours. Bronchitis me Monday morning, sounds shocking, can't hardly speak. I cinnamon you stewed apples. Later you tell me the virus, and that was the weekend. You said you knew, like a woman can know, the exact moment of conception when her ovum is penetrated, a tiny ping. You say you know that I knew too, and I did. I never knew how sick you were, how the virus colonized you, how your blood let us down, how you couldn't fight infection. Then you died, and I miss you. And this is another blood one. It's called Voodoo Villanelle. My blood in your dinner makes you love me today. I learned that spell from Louisiana voodoo. Menstrual blood in your coffee means you won't stray. The blurring of our ego boundaries left me dazed. We were both of us acolyte and guru. My blood in your dinner makes you love me today. The strength of our passion almost made me crazy. We compiled a playlist that we both could move to. Menstrual blood in your coffee means you won't stray. Two little gree-grees wearing rings, you and I engaged. I must admit I used a little juju. But my blood in your dinner makes you love me today. No spell that I know of stopped you playing away while I lay around drinking vodka in my moo-moo. Menstrual blood in your coffee didn't mean you wouldn't stray. Instead of allowing myself to become enraged, I have made a little doll that looks like you do. My blood in your dinner makes you love me today. Menstrual blood in your coffee means you'll no longer stray. And now here's a couple from Skin. This one's called Integument. Waterproof, elastic, breathable, washable, his living coat of flesh. Dermis, epidermis, subcutaneous fat. He is a human snake. He sheds his skin, the hunter skins his prey, peels himself off, reveals who and what he is. He tooths me, he claws me, tails me, buries me in this stretchy bag. And this one, another skin one, it's called Strawberry Blonde. If the blood yolk sun to be found at the heart of the variegated nasturtium is beautiful. The bone white camellia with its hemoglobin stripes, Jackson Pollock throughout, is beautiful. The piebald palomino and the brindled black and tan, slick-sided thoroughbred are beautiful. Then why is the vitiligo patched skin of the freckle-faced girl, speckled shell pink, brown, not considered beautiful? That mutation, that virus, introduced and cross-pollinated, splattered glorious streaks on all species under heaven. Variegation is desirable in animals and plants, but perfection is expected in the human complexion. Here's, no, I won't read that. I'll read this one. This is a hair one. It's called Bitches, or Bitches. 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 And there is, it's called Bitches. And it starts with an epigram from Sylvia Plath. Why not? What's not to like? And the epigram says, out of the ash I rise with my red hair and eat men like air. And that's, that's Sylvia Plath. And there's 3 little sections. I shouldn't explain. I'll explain. It's called Redhead. It's like little prose poems. Redhead, brunette, blonde. And I got all the words from online, from ads for hair dye colour from Clairol and Garnier Nutrice. The names of all their colours. So, redhead. They call me passionate, my crushed garnet mane. I shake my pomegranate sangria locks and scattered with the passionatician particles of revenge and cinnamon resentment. The ground around me is peppered with remnants of disaffected exes. Brunette. I rake my espresso chestnut locks with my bare fingers. Known to be intelligent and strong, I can be as vacuous as any blonde. In fact, sometimes I wish I was one. I am jet. Watch me take off. I am mahogany. Watch me grow strong in the forest. Watch me remain standing. Blonde. I trip the light fantastic in the beeline honey daylight and shiver my champagne tresses, a bird settling on a bough. I love diamonds. I give the impression of harmlessness but will set you on fire just to see the colour of your light ash. And nails. Nails. The ghazal of the nail artist. Your letter came to my house in the mail. I slit it open using just my fingernail. A Chinese form of torture involves bamboo being inserted underneath live fingernails. I love the way you complimented me and said such things as, hey, fine fingernails. The sound of scraping on the chalkboard drives people crazy when done with 5 fingernails. I tore that letter to shreds, I gotta tell you, page by page, piece by piece by a fingernail. Tashi thought she couldn't handle many things, till the girlfriend said to her, hang on, try fingernails. And one more, last one, teeth. The skin of your teeth. You chew meat with them, you cold chatter them, you bite down hard with them, you hang on tenacious by the very skin of them, you sometimes lie through them. You lose a few, get a few silver filled, you get a regal one crowned, a few rotten ones get taken out till you only have a few left, so you get the rest extracted, you like the X. You enjoy the anesthetic a lot. You get some mint choppers, upper and lower bites, pearly whites. You float them in a glass and find it odd when you see your own mouth smiling back at you from the bedside table. You say, good night, darling.